going into the season, the playoffs was the ultimate goal. So anything on top of it's kind of just like icing on the cake. I feel like our viewpoints will definitely change if the Kings get bounced in the first round. Like, what the hell? Fire Brown. No, I'm not saying that, but the West is super weak this year. And the Kings have been fortunate not having many injuries. Like we said in this podcast in the past, like where the Kings sit as the second seed right now, it's not usually like what their record is at this point in the year is not usually what the second seed's record is usually at this point in the year. So, I mean, you have to take that into account too. Because I mean, you have Phoenix. I mean, that's a good team. I mean, really, there's a lot of good teams in the West that have been dealing with injury bugs, and they get at full strength at the right time during the playoffs. Like Kings, they're gonna have their work cut out for them.
No, that's a good point too. Is you just gotta keep the reality in mind that there have been a lot of favorable circumstances for the Kings, including the fact that everything's just falling apart in Memphis.
Yeah,
and
falling apart.
That's a huge reason why the Kings are in second place.
Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies fans, they might as well be looking towards what's going to happen in the offseason. I don't think they really have a chance at this point, do they? It doesn't really seem like is there any timetable? Nobody's really talking about any timetable of any kind of return. Nobody would be surprised if you don't see Ja Morant again this season. I might be mixing that up. Maybe that's already been set in stone that you're not going to see him. But,
well, no. Right before we started recording this, a report did come out that Ja Morant will be without the team for the next 4 games. So that's kind of like the furthest that we can see at the moment. The report we've seen. So, I mean, I don't know. It's such a weird circumstance. You're talking about a 50-game suspension for bringing a gun on a plane potentially. I was told that Colorado police aren't going to be investigating into this, like bringing the gun to the nightclub and stuff. And of course, not everything. Memphis is a good team without Morant, but I mean, Morant's your best player. If they're going to go into the postseason without him, it's obviously going to be a huge hit to them. You can almost count them out at that point, right? But we'll see. I mean, they're still a really good team, and with him, if he comes back, I don't know. It just depends on that, really. I mean, that's a good team with Ja Morant, so.
It's true.
It's we don't have the full answers at this moment. I mean, like they could drop just like all the other teams did from injury or missing players. But if he comes back and they're in the 6th seed going into the playoffs, I mean, that's still a really good team the Kings might have to face there, even though they're the 2nd seed.
I think that's a great mindset to have. I think everybody in the team that's serious about winning should have that mindset. But also, that's a lot of distraction. That's just that totally just takes the wind out of the sails. And I don't know. I don't want to. Look, my dumbass will make statements about other teams in the league, and I know better. I said a couple weeks ago, I'm like, yeah, Memphis give me the top 4, no problem. The Kings aren't. And now look at it. So
I know,
developing situation. We'll have to see, but that does definitely play into the Kings' favor. With all the weirdness.
Usually.